Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Stars Cartel channel. If you don't know, I'm Star. So, yesterday, before I went to sleep, I was watching King of Boys, the second, The Return of the King. And I was watching the ending, like the last episode. And it was the part where in Iola's enemies' minds, she walked into the lion's den and she was going to be destroyed. And it's so, what I love about that scene is how, first of all, she came you know what I'm saying? Like he said, just stand there so I can admire your dress because, baby, ate, okay? It left no crumbs. Anyways, and all black. And in their mind, she was wearing all black for her funeral. But baby, she was wearing all black for their funeral. Because, baby, they thought she was walking into an ambush. And it was the other way. They thought she was walking into an ambush and that they was going to come at her and they was going to do this and this was going to happen and baby, that was going to happen. And she was just going to have to sit there and deal with it. And baby, did she have some tricks up her sleeve. And the way that they kept saying, we're not listening. We don't want to hear your speech. We don't want to hear another speech, baby. But she talked and she talked and she told them the truth. She said, let me tell you something. You think you about to, you know what I'm saying, take my crown? And you know what I'm saying, and force my hand and force me to choose you to be my replacement and force me to do this and you gonna force my retirement and you gonna do it, baby, you got me messed up. You got me twisted with somebody else. I don't know who you thought you was playing with, but baby, you got the wrong one today. You got the wrong one today. The actual replacement ain't going for that. And in reality, like she said, what they was trying to do would have caused, it was bad luck anyway. Look how it ended. What they thought was such a bright idea. Oh, if we ambush her and we forcefully take it away from her, because how dare a woman sit at the table, and how dare a woman do this, and how dare a woman do that, and we done did this and we done did that, and she haven't did nothing yet. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Baby, she shut it down. Had that man begging. The same person that had so much fire towards her, so much hatred towards her for no reason, just because he just had to have her spot. And what's wild to me, some people, they are so, it's almost like they're drooling like pit bulls, trying to have what belonged to you instead of working for their own. She earned that spot. Her husband left that spot to her. That's why so many of the men respected it. She took care of that man up until he went. You know what I'm saying? She earned her spot. She loved that man. That man loved her. He was crazy about her. And they felt some kind of way about it. They felt some kind of way of a woman having the kind of power that she had. But baby, she came through and she showed out. She showed how much power she really got. You thought. Baby, God said your enemy's plans, they look real good. It look real good to them. But the way that he about to show out, the way he about to show up and show out. The scripture comes from Mark 10 and 5. 10 and 9. Hold on. What God therefore joined together, do not let any man separate. God says somebody deliberately went out their way in an attempt to destroy a relationship that he put together. And now this person is trying to, I feel like this is someone that is trying to make it seem as if they are right. Because even in this movie, like I said, that was her husband. They was married before he passed away. And he left everything to her. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I can't stunt. It's like, using her as an example is ironic because she did some shiesty things to get to where she was at, but she got to where she was at. But when it come down to it, that man, he knew what he was doing when he left everything to her. He knew what he was doing when he showed her how to manipulate, how to move. Not manipulate, but how to move. Well, I guess yes, because they were criminals. It's a criminal empire, anyways. But you know what I'm saying? How to move, how to handle this, how to handle that, how you do this, how you do that. That was his wife. She knew what she was doing. And the wild thing about it is, the men that were standing against her and trying to come against her were disloyal to him, anyways. Because why are they beefing with this man wife? Why are they beefing with her? Why is this such a problem for her to sit at that seat? Why is it such a problem for his family to carry on receiving what he built? Why is that such a problem? And you know what I'm saying? It ain't like it's one thing when you sitting at a ruling position and you are doing a terrible job. It's another thing when you ruling with an iron fist. You know what I'm saying? She was doing her thing. So what was the problem? Everybody was eating. Everybody was peaceful. Everything was fine when she was, you know what I'm saying, running things. So what was the problem? Except just the fact that there were men that felt like it was a problem for a woman to hold that position. She can't be the king because she's a woman. God said for somebody that there is someone that wanted to interfere, they wanted to destroy your relationship, they wanted to destroy your marriage. And this may very well, while it could be a marriage to an actual man, I feel like it could also be a marriage to God. This is somebody that wanted to destroy the covenant that you have with God. And they feel as if it's something wrong with you having this covenant, as if it's a problem for you to have this covenant. But God said what he said. And he said, instead of this person feeling as though they got you in their hand, the palm of their hand, and it's going to be an ambush, it's going to be the other way around. God said this person is the one that's going to be ambushed. This person is going to be the one that's going to go under. This person is going to be the one that is going to end up in demise because they coming after God's queen, God's wife, God's children, God's church, whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like this part, like they tripping. They tripping. God chose you. He chose you to be the head of his church for a reason. And it's not nobody that's going to be able to plump you up out your seat. And every person that tried, they going to end up with their own demise. They will end in their own demise. They will cause their own demise. They will cause their own problems. And they will cause their own trouble. And that's just what it is. You don't always, like, I feel like sometimes people feel as though in order for you to win a war against somebody else, you have to fight and you have to break stuff and you have to destroy this and act a complete. You don't have to do all that to win no war. Baby, I feel like my war with, you know what I'm saying, the people at the hotel that was not wanting to let me in my room, that was ended by me simply leaving a review and telling on how they behaved, how they treat their customers. I just feel like you ain't got to do all that. I wrote a review on how they treated you know what I'm saying? How they treated me. And now it's one thing, you know what I'm saying, if I had just got there and I was trying to check in early and they ain't have no rooms and they ain't have this, that, and the third going on and I had to wait. It's one thing. And it's another thing, when I was already in a room, I could have simply and easily, they could have just gave me let me stay in the same room, instead of having me wait for no apparent reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the room ain't just gotta be cleaned that bad. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do that much. I only slept there one night. It hit different. It hit different. I just feel it hit different. And then, you know, it's one thing when you come in against a big, huge company and when you come in against a small one. Because some things, you know what I'm saying, with small companies, you can overlook. And I understand because I have a small company. You know what I'm saying? And in reality, there are some things that I would like to do, but I can't really do it because I have a small company. I have a small business. I have a small, even when it comes to my ministry is small. My ministry, even though it's like big numbers, but it's not, I don't know how to explain it. It's big in numbers as in how many subscribers I have, but I feel like as far as views on a daily, it's not this big, huge, like mega type thing in my eyes, from my perspective. And I feel like when it come down to it, it just hit different. Because when it's just somebody that have a little small mom and pop type vibe going on, you know what I'm saying? You overlook certain things because you kind of think like, well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But when it's like a mega massive operation, it's kind of like, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Like, I went to the gas station and the person charged me twice for what I bought. And when I looked at it, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can ignore stuff like that, but $12 is twice of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be paying $15 at the most with tax, and I'm paying 20 something. That's a jump. You know what I'm saying? They ignore me. They don't, lock the door. Don't want to come to the door. Don't want to help me. Just like as if I'm a problem after they charge me double. And it hit different because that bothers me. As somebody that I have a small business and I work really hard. And I really do try my best. You know what I'm saying? And I know sometimes I drop the ball. Sometimes I can't help things going on in my life. Sometimes this, sometimes that. But when it come down to it, I do try my best. I don't do nobody like that. I don't. Now, obviously, I'm not finna deal with nobody with no attitude. I ain't had no attitude. I rang the bell. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know this bell's supposed to work. I don't see no reason as to why it won't. I tapped on the door. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no attitude. I'm not finna fight with nobody. I don't feel like it. I've fought enough with my ex. I don't feel like it. I'm not fighting. I'm not arguing with nobody. But I do realize that there are other ways to, you know what I'm saying, get the result that you want. because that way ain't always the way. Yeah, you done knocked over a shelf of stuff and now they gotta go and fix that, but 9 out of 10 they would have had to stock that up anyway because they gotta take the stuff down when it ain't good no more. So I feel like sometimes it's like when people get mad, when people get angry, they lash out in ways that don't even get them the result they want, whereas there are other ways, such as leaving a review, writing a review on the BBB. Like, come on now. Calling a lawyer, contacting a lawyer. These things are more effective than, you know what I'm saying, just lashing out all the time. Because sometimes people be doing that on purpose because they want to start problems. And in reality, once you I feel like once you let it be known that this is how this person deals with their customers, this is how this person does this, or this is how this company does this, that, and the third, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're liable to get results. Sometimes it depends on what kind of results you're trying to get. Because, you know what I'm saying? I have to say simultaneously, if it's a situation where you're doing this to like a huge company or a corporation, then yeah, you're liable to get results. If you're doing this to an individual, it depends on the individual. Because, baby, I know me, ours is stubborn. And you got me messed up if you think you finna, you know what I'm saying? You ain't finna be in my head. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know, and due to the fact of what I'm talking about, I know how I am. I don't treat nobody no kind of way. It ain't no situation where I'm deliberately trying to cause problems for anyone. I'm not deliberately trying to treat any kind of customer any kind of way or mistreat anyone in general. It's not a situation where I am trying to not, ensure that anyone that buys from me, purchases from me, or even donates to me or listens to my videos is not satisfied. But in reality, when it comes down to my earnings, it shouldn't be a situation where somebody, just because they bought a t-shirt, is now trying to see with the magnifying glass where I'm spending money that I work for. I don't go behind the people that, you know what I'm saying, when I spend money here, spend money there, and I give to this person, give to that person, I'm not going behind them trying to see where they spending the money at. I literally, you know what I'm saying, when I give to people on the street, it's not a situation where I'm finna follow them around in my car all day and try to see where they spending my money at. And it's not a situation where I'm finna take it personal, get mad, get frustrated, get upset, because it is what it is. God led me to give them that money for one reason or another. And it's not a situation where I'm finna make this big war against this person because how dare they take the money that I spent to buy a purse from them and go out to eat like it's their money. Now, it's theirs now. I gave it to them. You never know how bad that person needed to go out to eat. You never know if that person was starving. You never know if that person had been in a house depressed, staring out the window, looking depressed for months. You don't know. So why would you take it upon yourself to think, I wonder what they gonna this, I wonder what they gonna that, and then see that that person is doing something to lift themselves up, to make them happy, to improve their life in one shape or another, and then get mad and feel as if they don't deserve that, or that's not good, or is something wrong with that. Why? Like, that's like somebody giving money to a church and finding out that the church was actually going out to people that were actually homeless and giving them a place to stay and using the money for that and thinking, that's the worst place ever. Finding out a church was using money that was donated to them to help people that were homeless, regardless of how they know these people. Have something to eat, have clothes, have a place to stay, have this, have that. Like, ain't that the work of God? So where's the problem? It hit different. It hit different. It hit different. It hit different. And you know what I'm saying? I could have stayed up at the store for a few hours. Like, I really don't have nothing else to do. Well, I guess I do. God just gave me something to do. But you know what I'm saying? I could have sat up there, acted a fool. I could have, tried to do this, that, and the third. But I don't feel like it. I don't. For what? I'm not finna go back and forth with that man. I'm not finna argue with that man. You know what I'm saying? I'm mad because in reality, I really don't have money like that. I intended to pay no more than $15, and that's like, I don't have the other $15. That's for my food. I don't have money like that, and it's messed up. That, you know what I'm saying? That they act so nonchalant about it, but I know that the men from what are they from, like I don't even know how to describe the race of them, but I know that they feel some kind of way towards women in general. That already, you know what I'm saying? It's already so much prejudice towards African Americans in general, like around the world. But on top of that, they feel some kind of way towards women in general. And I know that they, in their minds, men is their way or the highway, and this, that, the third. I don't have time for that. 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 I'm not finna fight, argue, or go back and forth with nobody behind no $12. I'm not. I'm not. I refuse. But you know what I'm saying? When it come down to it, that's just like, if I give to somebody, if I purchase something from somebody, if, you know what I'm saying, even if it was donating to somebody, which I have done before, I'm not finna sit back and question what they finna do with that little money. I'm not finna sit back and scratch my head and stress myself out wondering, oh, I wonder this. Because it could be a situation where I gave it to them for one reason and they paid for that one reason, and I gave them something extra. So why not go get yourself something to eat? Go do this. Go do that. But like, I just feel like there are some people that don't even think about that. And I'm being reminded of when I first started donating to the homeless shelter years ago, and I would donate cosmetics, like facial masks, and like little slippers, and like robes, makeup. And some people were like, that's so weird. Could you imagine being in the position to where you don't have these things and you want it? But who is going to spend money on that when you literally got to worry about where you're going to stay and what you're going to eat? Some people don't even think about that. Like, just because somebody is going through it don't mean they don't want a facial too. Just because somebody going through it don't mean they want to go out to eat. Like, they want to go to the movies. They want some nice clean clothes. They want to buy something that's new. They want to experience life and enjoy life as well. Why can't they? And why in the world would you want to take that from them? I'll just, baby, that's some judgment at the end there. But anyways, that's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Deuces.